everybody. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are
Recording in
There
progress.
we go. And let's open up the doors to the Zoom room. So this is a live stream called Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, it is my honor, and actually I feel like it's my duty to be able to share this information with the world. It's something that brought me out of a system that had pushed me off to pain management and told me that everything that I had going on was either in my head or genetics. So when you find something that proves them wrong, you just kind of have to share. And that's what this program is all about. And that is making sure that you know you are an empowered individual and there are options out there to help you find a better health journey. Because, folks, we are not chemical deficient, nor do we want to manage sickness, but we want to help you find a road to better health, and that is through nutrition. So if you are joining us live here in the Zoom room and you have a question for the doctor that we have on with us today, Dr. Joel Wallach, make sure that you raise your hand like Nancy has. Thank you, Nancy. And if you are watching out on any of our live streams at this very moment, it is like 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. You are welcome to join us live in the Zoom room. And we are here Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. And just to let you know, we're going to be starting up on Tuesdays as well in the near future. So I am super excited to be able to have another day to offer information to help you as an individual. Now, if you were invited by somebody specific, or if you or shared this video by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. We are a resource for an amazing community, and that community is built up of people who care about you and others. And together, as we're working on our own health and our family's health, we together are creating healthier communities, and when it's around the world, that just makes a healthier world, right? Well, sit back and enjoy. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, but when you give the body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. And in addition to that FDA requirement that I do have to say is the information here, again, not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, prevent, or the products are not meant to treat, prevent, or cure disease. But folks, it's not the products themselves, but it's how they are formulated together with the nutrients in a way that the body can actually utilize. And the man that was behind figuring out what that is that the body actually needs, based on almost 30,000 autopsies of 452 different species, including humans. We have with us today the man who found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, found out what caused it, and proved it was not genetic. So for me, finding out that disease that is said to be genetic is not genetic, that in itself brings some amazing hope. So I am honored to be able to share with you the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, Dr. Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you, team. This is always a blessing to be able to bring good information to help people add 25 to 50 healthful years to their life, clean up their acts. We were just so very, what should I say, blessed to get this information. We'll give the Lord all the credit. We're just the messengers, okay? So
that's right.
So thank you. We're going to get started. And today I want to talk about the metabolic syndrome. The metabolic syndrome particularly attacks ethnic members, racial and ethnic members. So the metabolic syndrome, when you say something like that, has to do with diet, has to do with foods. It's
Doc,
not genetic.
when you say something is, did you say that it's deals with racial and ethnic?
Is correct.
So
Racial and
what do
ethnic
you mean by that?
communities.
Because I know I had metabolic syndrome really bad. In fact, I was put on medication for it, and the doctor that prescribed it a year later was surprised that I did not respond positively to the medication for quote unquote metabolic syndrome. So share with us what you mean. Does it have to do with the color of our skin?
No, it has to do with what we eat.
Okay,
It's
I
the
just wanted to
diet.
make sure that was
It's the
clear.
diets of the ethnic groups. Okay, a diet of the ethnic groups, racial groups, they all have diets that are different amongst them. Okay, and so that's why you see, okay, again, the metabolic syndrome attacks 25% of American population. 25% of American population is weighted down by the metabolic syndrome. Doctors love it. They're sending their kids through college because of the metabolic syndrome. Okay. The metabolic syndrome, let's see here, has type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, elevated triglycerides, stroke, abdominal obesity. We're talking about high blood proteins, again, high blood pressure, and elevated triglycerides. And 25% of the American public is weighted down by the metabolic syndrome. And what should I say, the majority of the people with metabolic syndrome are members of racial and ethnic minorities. Now, it's not because of the racial minorities, it's because of what they eat as racial minorities. It's the diets, okay, the food, the favorite foods, and so forth. That's what's causing the problem. And this is very easy. These are all nutritional deficiencies. I'm going to repeat that. There's no genetics involved here. It's all dealt with choices, okay, and nutritional deficiencies. And this is so crazy. We have over 100 different formulas that deal with these, okay? And I urge you to contact us, okay? And how should people get a hold of us, Rebecca?
Well, Dr. Wallach, we want to make sure that people get back with the person that referred them to this program. And if there is no one to thank, feel free to go to our website, dailywithdoc.com. If you have questions that you would like to get Dr. Wallach's advice on, you can use questions@dailywithdoc.com. And if you would like to join us in this crusade to help individuals and get a thank you check, whether it's to help your family or your community or even greater, you can go to or send us an email at info@dailywithdoc.com. And we have a call team standing by for those who are not currently working with somebody, and that is 855-949-3377. And I'm going to be mentioning a special about our coaching program coming up after your monologue, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, so thank you for the help with the introduction. And so basically, we need to start off with people, whether you have metabolic syndrome or not, everybody needs to get rid of the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And that alone will take a big load off of your immune system and your body's repair system and so forth. Okay, it's imperative that you get rid of all that stuff. Then we have the basic program, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has 210 nutrients in it. Healthy Brain and Heart Pack is 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds and you have some of these entities that are part of the metabolic syndrome, I would definitely take them. Okay. For instance, high blood pressure, I would go with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. And if they weigh 150 pounds, you get 2. So it'd be a full dose of everything twice a day. And then for the blood pressure issues, I would use the Ultimate Daily Classic. The Ultimate Daily Classic particularly deals with blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the legs, everywhere in the body. Okay. It opens up those arteries, and also it reduces the blood pressure. Okay. Reduces blood pressure. The kidneys have this responsibility, okay, to make sure your blood pressure is proper. And the kidneys also cleanse the blood. It filters all the bad stuff out of the blood and sends the bad stuff out in the urine. That's one of the 2 major things that the kidneys do. It gets the bad stuff out of your blood through the urine and gets your blood pressure down into the normal range. Kidneys are amazing things. You should love your kidneys. I get some license plates today. I love my kidneys. Okay. Okay, very important. The Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Now that's in addition to the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. All right. Now, if you have elevated triglycerides, okay, you got to change your diet, because you can't say, well, what do I do? I like eating all that fatty stuff. Well, you don't want to be eating fried fatty stuff. Okay, elevated triglycerides, that can be very, very devastating and contribute to clogged arteries, plaque in your arteries. It's not cholesterol that does that. It's triglycerides that does that. Okay, doctors had it all wrong, and they are responsible for a lot of unnecessary illness and deaths because they picked the wrong thing over 100 years ago. So let's see here. We talk about blood pressure. We got all the nutrients necessary to make your heart happy and healthy. I also like the collagen peptides in our I-26. Take 3 of the I-26 chewables per 100 pounds of body weight. They also, the I-26 also comes in capsules and powder. I prefer the chewables because I can just throw a handful in my pocket and take them as I need them, kind of thing during the day. But I wind up taking about 3 twice a day minimum. Okay. Again, I like the French vanilla. Okay. And let's see here. We already said stroke, triglycerides, high blood pressure. Oh, the high blood pressure. Okay, that's the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. The diabetes is the sweeties. Okay, is the sweeties. You take 2 or 3 sweeties twice a day. And don't cold turkey off your medication for your diabetes, but as the numbers of your sugar levels go down, you can slowly reduce your medication. Usually it takes 30 to 90 days to get rid of type 2 diabetes. It's not a genetic disease, very simple nutritional deficiency. And let's see here, abdominal obesity. When you have abdominal obesity, it's because you're eating 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 meals a day because you're hungry all the time. Why are you hungry all the time? That's because you're not getting the nutrients you need, and your body is looking for those nutrients. Well, I'll try eating this. Oh, let's try eating that. And that's why people get abdominal obesity and the metabolic syndrome. You take your Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and again, you got to get rid of the bad food so you can absorb all that stuff. Okay. And within weeks, certainly months, the metabolic syndrome goes away. Just goes away. And again, this obsessive eating all has to do with nutritional deficiencies, particularly mineral deficiencies. Okay, 25% of America. Okay, 25% of America has the metabolic syndrome. And Rebecca had that when we met her a couple of years ago, but she's lost at least 100 pounds, and you never know that she was 125 pounds overweight. She really, really has done a classic job following the rules, And this is why she works with us, because she wants the world to know that it's doable. She did it, and you can do it. And so we cannot thank Rebecca enough for devoting her time to make sure the information gets out there. Okay, now with all that said, I'm going to turn this over to Rebecca. We want to go to you.
Sure, why not, Doc? So
Okay.
thank you so much for that introduction. And yes, metabolic syndrome is something that it's kind of a new phrase, I think, that encompasses so many different things. And a lot of it has to do with the cells not being able to absorb. There's so many dynamics to it of the different functions in the body that are just not doing what they're supposed to do. And Doc, I wasn't eating a horrible diet. In fact, I thought I was eating very healthy because I was making everything from scratch. I seldom ate out. I was doing lots of vegetables and that I grew my own, stir fried them in olive oil.
Bingo.
I also was grinding my own wheat berries and oats.
Bingo. Bingo.
And all of these things, and buckwheat.
Bingo.
All of these things that I now have found out were not benefiting my body and were actually contributing to the decline. So, Dr. Wallach, let's go through the good foods, bad foods list real quick.
Okay.
Well, let me hold on. Let's not do real quick.
Okay.
Because you go really quick. So let's start with the bad foods, and don't go as slow as you can because I know what you'll do. But let's go through it and just let people understand that, there's a lot of things that are on that food pyramid that's changed at least 4 times in my 5 decades that are not serving our bodies as we've thought it is. They are. So, bad foods, Doc.
No fried foods. Okay, no fried eggs, no fried chicken, no fried rice, no fried bacon, no fried fish, nothing fried.
So that means that we're not cooking things at a high temperature.
Well,
right?
No, not cooking things in oil at a high temperature.
Thank you for clarifying that. Okay.
Because
Next.
the oil oxidizes and turns into trans fats, which cause cancer.
Okay. We don't want that.
Okay. Okay. Then the next step, all this should be done at the same time, of course. The high blood pressure, you need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets.
But how about let's just stick to the foods list right now.
Okay. Okay.
So start at the top.
Fish. I like fish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not all, at the same time, but maybe 3 or 4 days out of the week, have fish for breakfast. I like salmon. That's my favorite. And you have to stay away from these small fish, okay, like minnows and things like that. A lot of people eat the small fish because they contain thiaminase in them. And thiaminase is an enzyme that kills thiamine B1, and you wind up getting congestive heart failure. That's why we came out with the
Destress.
Destress. You got it. Destress was actually made because the dolphins and the porpoises in the big aquariums around the world were dying of congestive heart failure. And I went and did the autopsies on a bunch of them that had congestive heart failure. Okay. And they weren't getting any vitamins and minerals. I said, well, they're getting whole fish. What kind of fish? They told me, and I looked it up, and sure enough, they had thiaminase in it. It's destroying the thiamine. So we began to give them thiamine, changed the type of fish they were eating that didn't have thiamase in it. In a week's time, all of the congestive heart failure in the porpoises and whales and in the zoos and aquariums went away. So that's why we have Destress capsules. In the beginning, I knew if I'd have said, well, this is designed to prevent and cure congestive heart failure, the medical system would be attacking me in the courtroom. Okay. So that's what we call a de-stress.
Well, and it's kind of, I don't know, ironic is not the word, but something that worked for dolphins and porpoises also works for humans.
That's correct. And of course, we did so many things. For instance, on the same subject, all the species of bears and all the zoos around the world were getting liver cancer. They're dying like flies from liver cancer. Black bears, brown bears, Kodiak bears, polar bears, every kind of bear you can think of, they're dying of liver cancer. And the doctors say, oh, that's all genetic, blah, 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 blah. No. What was happening was those bears were being fed the same thing that the bartenders give to beer drinkers. Beer drinkers have a high propensity for liver cancer. And they say, well, it's the alcohol in the beer. No, it's not the alcohol in the beer. It's the peanuts they were eating, because peanuts grow in the ground and they get infested with a fungus called Aspergillus Flavus, which produces aflatoxins, which produce liver cancer. And we changed their diets to eliminate the peanuts. We just gave them little bags of mixed dog food for the guests at the zoos to throw to the bears instead of peanuts. And within weeks, the number of new cases of liver cancer in bears went to 0.
How about old bread, Doc? I know they used to serve them old bread, like more than day old bread, but 2-3 day old bread. Would that contribute to it? Because I know that starts to get moldy.
Well, it depends on the mold. It has to be Aspergillus Flavus that produces that aflatoxin.
And how would you know?
Well, you could take your bread into the lab and say, what kind of fungus is growing on the bread? And they can grow it for you and tell you.
Well, I know some of them, they show up under a certain light. So if it's in a dark warehouse and you go in with a certain light, it kind of glows.
Yeah, fluorescent light, it will grow, they'll glow.
That's crazy. So let's go into grains, since I mentioned bread, Doc. Let's go into grains.
Okay. No wheat, bran,
Are they
or
good for
oats.
us?
No wheat, bran, or oats. I already said that. No buckwheat. Okay, rice is okay. That's why the Asians live 10 to 15 years longer than we do, because they live on rice instead of wheat, bran, or oats and buckwheat. Also, they eat a lot of seaweed, so they're getting more minerals than we get. How many people, in Missouri and Illinois and Idaho and Utah eat seaweed? Well, going back a long time ago, before people were educated, they didn't eat any seaweed. Only the people on the coast ate seaweed. And so that's why some states people live longer than other states in the United States, because they're getting the seaweed. And nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And so if you live in a place that has only 1 or 2 minerals in it, you're gonna be at the doctor's office 3 times a day. Okay. And so,
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't eat a whole lot of seaweed, but I am very thankful for this right here called Fucoid Z, because it has those in these tablet forms. And because, seaweed can be a little bit salty, which I like salty. And I know it has benefits, but I can only eat so much. And I love these because it's like consolidated and it has that fucoidin in it that has so many different published reports on the benefits of fucoidin in the body. So how about oils, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, well, oils, again, oxidize and turn into trans fats and create cancer and all kinds of other stuff in all the organs. And I would have people get the book Epigenetics. Epigenetics.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
This is my second book of hope, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, it goes into showing a lot of what the medical system does is relieve symptoms, and the patients are happy about that. And then they die 2 years later after diagnosis because they really didn't get rid of the problem. They just relieve symptoms. Well, epigenetics demonstrates very clearly that there are no genetic diseases. repeat that. This book, Epigenetics, shows very clearly, it delves into the science, and it shows clearly that there are no genetically transmitted diseases. And you can add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life by following the principles in this book. And let's see, you want to show in the back of the book?
Well, the back of the book is you receiving an award for some of the research that you did in regards to
Epigenetics.
Well, selenium.
Yeah.
And
Well,
selenium plays an important role.
Selenium is one of them. Of course, selenium got rid of cystic fibrosis, supposed to be a terrible genetic birth defect. And I got fired from the Yerkes Primate Center when I said it wasn't genetic. It was because I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in the monkeys there. And they fired me. They said, well, what are you doing? That can't be right. And so then also the next one, in addition to, let's see here.
Muscular dystrophy, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, muscular dystrophy. That's the Jerry Lewis one. Okay. And Jerry Lewis, he was so excited. I showed him that we had found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy, took him around to various places and stuff. And he put together a program, and he was going to take it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. He went there. I think it was like early in 2011, and they fired him summarily. He walks in there and said, "You're fired," and they put a gag order on him so he couldn't tell the world that we had found the cause, prevention, cure of muscular dystrophy. And then the next day, they shut down his telethon, which he had been running for them for 46 years, and raised $2.3 billion for them. They shut down the telethon. But he knew before he died, 4 years later, and he worked with me just about every day for that 4 years before he died. He knew that we had found the cause, prevention, and cure for muscular dystrophy. He was so proud and so happy. So I was glad about that. And then the third one, sudden death syndrome, SIDS, where babies were dying at 3 days old, a month old, 2 months old, 6 months old, a year old, 2 years old. Mom would put them to bed that night, perfectly healthy, and they'd be dead by the morning. And doctors said, well, the mothers must be laying on the babies and suffocating because we can't find any other thing. Well, they were dying of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, a simple nutritional deficiency of selenium. Okay. And so my attorney, Jonathan Emord, and I, we sued the FDA 8 times in federal court. We sued the FDA 8 times in federal court. My mom and I each had to sell our farms to get the money to pay for that big cause. And we were able to get the nutrients, including selenium, put into baby food, put into baby formula. Okay. And we ended all those diseases.
Well, Doc, I think something gets ended when action is taken. You took the action to prove that there were things that were essential and got them put into that baby formula.
And we had to sue the FDA 8 times in federal court to pull it off, though. It was not easy.
Well, and I know there was another one of those lawsuits that had to do with folic acid and making sure that it was put into prenatal vitamins, because that was very important, because missing, there had the cleft palate, and there was also, wasn't it cerebral palsy?
Yes.
Was another one that is because of a nutrient deficiency. Well, folks, we have to be intentional. It is not in our food. And if something's not in the food we eat, how else are we going to get it into our bodies without intentional supplementation in a form that the body can actually utilize? And that's one thing that you were very instrumental in putting together, Dr. Wallach, with the system that is now promoted through a company called Youngevity. Back to our foods list, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you for that recognition. We appreciate that. And we work on this day and night to save as many as we can.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. So we talked about no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, no bottled oils, no fried foods. How about sugar, Doc?
Well, sugar is also problematic because it satisfies appetite and it stops you from eating all the things that are necessary. They have to appreciate that the sugar made things tasty. Syrup, toppings, cakes, cookies, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And the cooks and the moms and grandmoms, they love putting sugar on things. Okay. Because they knew that sugar would make people happy eating the things that they made with sugar in it. Okay. It was a blessing. It was a bait, B-A-I-T. It was a bait. Okay. Because, just eating something that's made out of rice is kind of flat. There's not much taste to it. That's why I like salted butter on my rice. I like salted butter on my rice. Okay. And I like salt. In the old days, salt was a big thing. And back thousands of years ago, they learned that when they boiled water or evaporated seawater, there was a white deposit left. And they tasted it, and it was kind of startling. It had that little snappy taste to it because it was salt. But unbeknownst to them 2,000 years ago, it also had trace minerals in it that was in the ocean. Okay. And so people who were using salt on their food, okay, were living longer and healthier and didn't have diseases that people who did not use the salt because they weren't getting the minerals because they lived in a place that only had 3 minerals in the soil instead of 60 minerals in the soil.
Well, there's a big difference, Dr. Wallach, when it comes to those minerals, because there are over 600 different poor health conditions that have been directly linked to nutritional deficiencies.
Yes.
And many of those nutritional deficiencies are specifically minerals.
Yes, that's correct.
That seems like a simple fix, folks, don't you think?
It is a simple fix. It is a simple fix. And this is why, again, that book Epigenetics and book Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Mm-hmm. That's another good one. That was one of your first books.
Yes.
Not first, but one of your first books that shares a lot of information. How about well done meats?
Well, when you cook meat well done,
meat,
and when you cook meat well done, you're turning that fat in the meat into
acrylamide?
Yeah, acrylamide. They turn into cancer causing problems. Okay. It also causes problem with the myelin in the brain and spinal cord, and you get memory problems. You lose your mind, and you get Parkinson's disease and all that kind of stuff. Okay, from eating well done meat that has the fats in them turned into triglycerides, the burnt triglycerides.
So are you saying, okay, so you're cooking your meats, they have fat in them, you're heating that fat up to the point where it creates triglycerides, which then does that contribute to elevated bad cholesterol?
That's correct.
Okay, so, and sugar does the same thing. It elevates the bad cholesterol.
Correct.
So reducing those two things in your diet are going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, and you'll live longer. And this is why I eat a lot of fruit. I eat grapes, I eat raisins, I eat apples, I eat oranges, I eat bananas. They're not fruit, but I eat nuts, that kind of stuff. And that's how I get my oils. I eat nuts, not peanuts, okay, but cashews and almonds and walnuts and things like that. You'll get healthy oils in the nuts.
All right. Now,
so when Rebecca, when somebody said, "You must be nuts," oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I am nuts, Doc. I'm okay with that. How about nitrates that are added to meat? So like almost all processed foods prior to just recently, they started getting the hint, Dr. Wallach, and putting no added nitrates or nitrites into something that's one of the most highly consumed foods, and that's lunch meat. and other processed foods. Why would you stay away from nitrates and nitrites?
Because that's what they put in dead people to preserve the bodies.
What? I thought that was formaldehyde.
Well, that's one of them. There's several.
Okay,
But
so
that's how they learned that's how they learned that they could preserve meat because they were using it to preserve bodies. So let's, try it on the bacon. Let's try it on the ham. Let's try it on the hot dog. Let's try it on the patty, meat patty, and so forth.
well, I recall one of your very first mass die-offs where you found that the runoff of the fertilizer nitrate from the fields was getting into the water, contaminating the water, and a whole flock of sheep got goiter because of nitrate poisoning.
Yes, they had goiter and they all died in one night because the temperature dropped and their
And they couldn't
thyroid couldn't
maintain
maintain
body
a body
heat.
temperature. Yeah. Yeah, the whole
So,
flock died in one night.
well, and it seems like we have kind of an epidemic of something called hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, things that affect the thyroid. And folks, I'm just going to recommend that maybe you look at your diet and start removing those nitrites. How about no carbonated drinks, Doc?
No, we need to back up a little bit. There's a very
Okay,
important piece
back up.
when it comes to the goiter, okay, and dying in the cold temperatures and stuff like that. The salt that people used to eat had plenty of stuff in it, including nitrates and trace minerals of all kinds, because it was obtained from the sea, ocean, sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when doctors say no salt, do not use any salt, do not eat any salt, stay away from salt, salt will kill you, give you high blood pressure and heart attacks. And people are frightened when a doctor says stuff like that. And so they stay away from salt. I love salt, especially sea salt that has sea minerals in there. You're going to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. That's why the Hunzas in the Himalayan mountains, their life expectancy is 120. Ours, depending on whose numbers you look at, is 74 to 75. What? We're supposed to have the best doctors in the world. Oh, the Hunzas don't have any doctors. So they can't get any misinformation because there's no doctors. And many of them live to be 130, 140, 150, but the average life expectancy in Hunza is 120. And ours, we rank 47th in the world in longevity. And the Hunzas rank number one.
And I think they have less technology than we do as well, which includes, TV, things that keep you stagnant and not getting out and enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the fresh air, getting movement, growing your own food, all of these things, because I've seen lots of pictures of the Hunza Valley and the different towns. They're more like villages, and I don't see manufacturing facilities. I don't know that I've ever seen a car in any of those pictures.
You won't.
People are walking or riding bikes.
Or riding horses or something like that.
Or, yeah, mules. I've seen some that were riding mules. So, yeah, simpler lifestyle and not being so dependent on processed things would be a good thing. So let's go to no carbonated drinks, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, well, carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot digest food or absorb food, and particularly minerals. So when you're drinking carbonated drinks, whether it's a juice or a beer or an alcohol or a wine, carbonation neutralizes stomach acid. Stomach acid is your best friend. Oh, I went to the doctor and he gave me some antioxidants so I wouldn't get a stomach ache. Well, get away from wheat, barley, rye, oats, and buckwheat.
Could they have given them antacids rather than antioxidants? Because antioxidants are good for us.
Did I say antioxidants?
You did.
Oh, I'm
You did.
sorry.
I just want to make sure that people don't like stay away from antioxidants because those things are good for us. But so in addition to artificial color, lots of sugar in a lot of carbonated drinks, or if it's a sugar-free carbonated drink, or you've got those chemical sweeteners that have already been banned in other countries because they cause cancer. Carbonation in itself, even for the ones that are quote unquote healthier, is not good for your digestive system. Now let's talk about the skins of baked potatoes, Doc.
Okay, the skins of baked potato, they're thin, okay, compared to the skin on an orange, okay, but they have oils in them. And when people fry potatoes, that oil in the skin of the potatoes turns into trans fats, which cause cancer.
So you don't want it to get crispy. So if you're boiling potatoes or steaming them, it's okay.
Well,
As
no,
long
there's
as,
still changes being made. So I
well,
scooped
there's,
it, yeah, I scooped the potato out of the skin. I don't like to eat the skin of a potato.
okay. Well, we'll just have to keep that in mind, folks. And to find the whole good foods, bad foods list, because there's a whole list of good foods. And I like to focus on the good foods and not think of what I can't have, but look at all the great things that I can have. It definitely makes it easier when choosing what you are going to be purchasing and putting into your cart, whether it's an online cart and being delivered to you or going shopping at the grocery store. Just stick with this good stuff. Keep those good things going into your cart because it's the good things that go into your cart that then go into our mouth. And if we take the bad things out, it makes it so much easier to help find a better health journey. Dr. Wallach, we have some hands up, so let's go ahead and go to Nancy, who is the first one with her hand up. Nancy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello,
Can you hear
Nancy.
me?
Yes,
Yes,
we hear you
ma'am.
now.
Hello. So I have a few things going on. I'm 62, and 20 years ago, periodontal disease started. So I had to have osteosurgery. I still have all my teeth, except for my wisdom teeth. And then 10 years later, it came back, and I had to have laser. That was great. It saved my teeth. But now I have some bone loss around certain teeth, and they want me to get some bone grafting. And then the bottom teeth, I don't have any pocketing, but I've got the bone is receded and the gum is receded. And then, so
Now,
there's
do you
still
know,
some,
wait a minute. Do you know what that's called when your bones get thin and recede?
well, I listened to something and it was osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis, that's correct. Okay. And this is not something that just has to happen. This is something that's self-inflicted by your eating habits, your eating and drinking habits. Okay. And osteoporosis is easily reversed, is easily prevented. And osteoporosis costs us a lot of money. Let me get this piece of paper out here. When you look at 3 countries together, okay, the United States, Canada, and the European Union, each year, just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, these 3 communities together spend $6.5 trillion just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis. $6.5 trillion just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, not to prevent it or cure it. And so doctors and dentists love osteoporosis. That's why they never sit you down or give you a handout or something that says what to eat, what not to eat. Because you keep coming in with all this osteoporosis, they can send their kids to college. They can pay off their mortgage.
right?
Okay. And so you have to say, okay, I'm going to do something different here. The annual cost of treating the symptoms of arthritis in America alone is $626.8 billion just to treat the symptom, not to prevent or cure it. You add those two figures together, that's $7 trillion we're spending just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis and arthritis. And so why are we doing that? Because we have a great respect for professional people like doctors and dentists and that sort of thing. And you're paying a price for that. You're paying a price. Okay. And so we can end osteoporosis. We can end arthritis in months. If everybody in the world would eat the way that the Hunzas do, guess what? Within 90 days, I always say, give me 90 days, 90 for life. Okay. And so we can prevent and reverse all these problems. The doctors and dentists are saying are genetic. Just have to deal with it. No, that's not true. Give me 90 days first, and you'll be glad you did.
Okay. And then there's some other things. I was in 2 car accidents. They weren't my fault. One was 3 years ago, and that was resolved. And then just 7 months ago, somebody rear-ended my car, and I've got 3 herniated discs in my cervical neck, and they're on my spinal cord.
Okay, let's see here. How much do you weigh again?
I'm too much. 188 pounds.
Okay, 188 pounds. I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, iron, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And 188 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of something twice a day. I want you to take our glucogel capsules. Go ahead and take 3 of those 3 times a day, and that'll rebuild your cartilage, your disc in your between your vertebrae, your back and your neck. It'll make more healthy bone matrix so that you can actually build healthy bone. Okay, and not have to keep paying for just to treat the symptoms. One of the things you can also do, okay, is make sure that you are getting all the nutrients you need to prevent these diseases. Okay, and that's why we came up with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. We have the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the Glucogel, and we have our energy drink called Rebound. We got that for Theo Ratliff, basketball player, and that works so well. It's one of our big products. Same way with the Glucogel. We made that for him. The doctors were going to give him a double knee replacement, and he would have to quit playing basketball after that if he had that surgery. So he chose to give me a shot at it. And what we did, we came up with, the Glucogel and the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, gave it to Theo. And in 90 days, he was cured of all his osteoporosis and arthritis. And he played for 9 more years, made $100 million between 4 contracts playing basketball with 2 separate teams over the 9 years. Okay. And so when somebody is proactive as a professional basketball player, can be healed enough to make $100 million because we're able to rebuild everything. And he took it every day. He's still taking it today. Okay. And that was in what, 1980, 84, something like that. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we have lots of professional football players, basketball players, hockey players, weightlifters, wrestlers, boxers. Evander Holyfield, he had a heart attack on the break before his last round, defending his championship, heavyweight championship. He couldn't answer the bell, so he lost his title. We came up with a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for him, rebuilt him, and he came back in 90 days. And they had to stop the fight in the 6th round because he was going to kill the other guy. Huh. Okay. And so they stopped the fight, and he got his championship back just after 3 months on our program after he had a heart attack. A heavyweight champion. Okay. And we're talking about some heavy duty stuff here between basketball players and boxers and stuff like that. And so we've proven it. It's not like this is theory. We've proven over and over and over. Okay. And so this is, one of those things where you can do the same thing. Go ahead and
So
get on
there's
the,
another area too
yeah.
from
Well,
the accident. Now the seatbelt got the left side where the lymphatic system drains,
mhm.
and it's still puffy. It's been 7 months.
Yeah,
So
well,
my lymph,
you need the 90 essential nutrients. It wouldn't hurt to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets for more circulation health, get those kidneys pumping the bad stuff out, and okay. And
And
go ahead.
Doc, if I may add something, um, because I personally know what it feels like to have 3 herniated discs in the cervical part of my neck from a rear end accident. He had mentioned the glucogel, the MSM, and with having that damage to the lymphatic system, our Good Herbs line has a product called Lymphatic Health. Adding that half a teaspoon and 4 ounces of water 3 times a day will help
half a
to
teaspoon.
half a teaspoon. It doesn't take very much.
And how many? 3 times a day?
3 times a day, and put it in about 2 to 4 ounces of water. Don't take it straight. It's bitter, but putting it in water not only helps to make it tolerable to drink, but also puts it in more surface that then goes through the system for better absorption.
Okay, good. And
Okay.
my family, we drink alkaline water. What are your thoughts on that?
Doc?
I like neutral.
Neutral, just purified water.
Yeah. And when you do alkaline, you're causing your body to not be able to absorb certain nutrients.
Yeah, you want to definitely have an acidic digestive juices in the stomach, right, Dr. Wallach?
That's correct.
That's how food is broken down. And the alkaline water disturbs that process.
Somebody's
Okay.
sending their kids to college.
So, but great questions, Nancy.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
You're
call us every couple of weeks because people are wanting to know whatever happened to that Nancy girl and all her stuff. So yeah, give us a call and bring us up to date.
Okay. And did you say how many healthy bone and joint packs and brain packs?
The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 2 per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. And then the glucogel, take 3 of those 3 times a day.
Now go 5 3 times a day with
5. Okay.
the herniations.
Okay. And then don't forget the let's see here.
MSM Ultra.
MSM Ultra, that's also for the joints and the cartilage and a disc between the vertebrae. And then the I-26 for your brain and spinal cord, they need help too.
Yeah. And one other thing that's in the bone and joint pack, and so the brain and heart pack, you definitely need that. He's adding in the glucogel, which is in the bone and joint pack. He's adding that in kind of a la carte. But one other thing that the bone and joint pack has, and that's the CM cream, which the CM cream is amazing at helping as a topical to relieve the pain and discomfort. And it's not just for a minute or two, it lasts for hours.
Okay. So I've got two brain,
Heart packs.
maybe
2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs.
And then what about the joint pack?
So kind of take the joint pack off of yours, just put a scratch through it, because you're going to get what you need using the brain and heart pack with the glucogel CM cream. So that includes those products. Instead of buying 2 separate, it's just taking those a la carte items and adding them to the biggest hammer in the box.
Okay.
And that's the pack.
All right. Thank you. I got that. Appreciate that.
Okay.
So give the person that shared this program with you. And folks, if you can relate to Nancy and the circumstances that she brought into the show today, there is hope. And I'm living proof of that one. So get back with the person that shared this program with you, and they will be able to help you get the products that Dr. Wallach mentioned. If there is no one to thank, feel free to give our call team a call at 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377. Now, Dr. Wallach Madru out in Facebook wants to know, what's better, white rice or brown rice?
Well, they both can have the same number of minerals in them. Okay. The difference in color is a pigment, and it's not doesn't have a serious nutritional benefit between the two. We've done so many tests to find out which one had more nutrients, and it's about the same.
All right,
Depends on where they're grown, is more important than the color.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Because like Dr. Wallach says, minerals are not uniform throughout the crust of the earth. They appear in veins like gold and silver or chocolate ripple ice cream. So
the favorite is chocolate ripple ice cream.
I like that hot fudge. Well, it's not hot when it's an ice cream, but you know, that fudge, that real thick chocolate. Yeah. But I've learned, Dr. Wallach, that even ice cream has gluten. So you gotta look at the ingredients and make sure that it says gluten-free, because that does disrupt with the villi in your intestines and preventing the absorption of what you got going in your mouth and creating more havoc. So Dr. Wallach, Gail has a really good question. We're coming up to the end of the show. So Gail, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How can we help you?
I was calling to find out, I'm 52 and I'm having an issue with my gut around the middle section, kind of the tire effect everyone talks about, or the love handles, I guess. And I can't seem to get rid of them. And I wanted to get some ideas.
Sure.
I
How much do you weigh? We only have a few moments here. What's your body weight?
140 and I'm 5'7".
Okay. We'll get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. And I'd go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's my favorite. Okay, it's Evander Holyfield's healthy brain and heart pack. Go ahead and take 2 of those per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. Okay, and then I want you to take our ultimate enzymes. Take our ultimate enzymes. Take 2 or 3 of those before breakfast. Say 10 minutes before breakfast, 10 minutes before lunch, 10 minutes before dinner time. I would also have you take the I-26. That's going to work on your brain and your spinal cord and all your large nerves. Okay. And let's see here. I would start there. You have anything else you want to throw in, Becca?
I do, Dr. Wallach. So that layer of fat in that area can sometimes be contributed to by hormonal imbalances. So we want to make sure that we have the hormones balanced, which the essential fatty acids in that brain and heart pack, they help with the estrogen and testosterone that the body needs manufactured. So does the I-26, Doc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so do you have like arthritis or osteoporosis or high blood pressure or diabetes?
No, I have none of that. No,
Okay,
the one thing I do get is vestibular migraines. And that was one thing I had started using the tangy tangerine, the 2.5, and it actually upset my stomach and I got some dizziness. So I reduced it down to about a 1/4 scoop and I still get, and I kind of quit taking it because of that, just the dizziness and the upset stomach. And I was wondering if you had some suggestions for that.
So we do have the tangy tangerine tablets that can be used, or try the original of the tangy tangerine.
Okay. Yeah, no, other than that, I just have the migraines is really the thing I get.
Migraines are one of the first things that I was able to let go of. Are you taking OsteoFX?
No. Mm-mm.
And she may have osteoporosis of the skull.
Yeah,
Okay.
OsteoFX, and then those essential fatty acids are very important as well.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Give us a call every couple of weeks. Give us a call every couple of weeks and bring us up to date, and we'll walk you through this.
Okay, I had one other thing. My gums have been receding quite
Ah,
fast
okay.
the last couple years.
Yeah, you have osteoporosis
Okay,
of the skull. See, your jaw is
okay,
part of your skull.
yeah, okay. So that's what's going on. I kind of
Yep.
thought from the talks I've heard you mention that I thought that might be part of it. So,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
great. Thank you.
It's reversible. It's not genetic.
Yay. Good to hear. All right,
Awesome.
great. Thank you.
Well,
You-
thanks for joining us today, Gail, and bringing those questions. And Dr. Wallach, we are at the top of the hour. It's time for you to be going on to your next um,
Event.
event. That's right. Busy, busy man. Thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and put you in the waiting room so that you can take off. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you tomorrow
Okay.
again on Daily with Doc. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I could not do this without them. I am very blessed to be able to have myself surrounded with some amazing people, positive attitudes, with a heart to help others. And the reason why that they have that heart to help others is because, one, they have felt the difference of what Dr. Wallach's recommendations have made within their own lives as well. We have Marilyn. For those of you who are here in the live Zoom, I hope you had that chat open, because between Marilyn and Phyllis, they put a lot of information into that chat. And yeah, they've got fingers. We got Albert there with the fingers, and doing dictation of what is said in the program, including writing down the protocol that Dr. Wallach gives for the individuals. And it's super easy to take a screenshot or use your phone, take a picture of that, so that if you or someone you know has symptoms that are similar to what is being spoken about on the program, you take a picture of that, you take that to your health coach or your longevity distributor. And if you're not working with anybody, you can give us a call and say, hey, I've got the screenshot of what Dr. Wallach said this other person needs. And it sounded like just like he was speaking to me. And the coach can help you get those products on their way to you, and coach you and guide you on how to take those products, make adjustments that may be needed. As Gail was saying, she had to go back on some of the products until the body is able to actually accept them. When your body is in a deficient state for so long, and then you flood it with nutrition, it's going to go through a detoxification process. And that upset tummy could be part of that as well. I digressed. We have Albert way down yonder with his buddy there, Jeffrey. I'm going to call him Jeffrey. Joining us from South Africa, helping to let people in, keeping an eye on cameras, making sure that everything is a safe place, including watching the messages. Thank you, Albert. I mentioned Phyllis just briefly. She's out on social media, bringing in questions from social media and making sure that all of you out there are getting answers to your questions. And if we didn't have time to get your questions answered, please make sure that you send us your questions at questions@dailywithdoc.com. We'll make sure that you do get answers. We do get a high volume, so it may take a day or two, but we do try to get through all of them. And we also have let's see, I know we've got Coach Rod that was on with us for a little bit, not on screen now. He's out on social media as well, helping keep track of that. And then we have, my right-hand man for the Daily with Doc show, and that is our assistant production manager, AJ, who has been super instrumental. He's got that parade wave going on in getting the Daily with Doc program streamed on so many different channels. We want to know what channel you are plugging into. So if there's a way to, leave a comment, one, make sure you're subscribing, and two, share. let us know where you're at. And also on TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, coming on Fire TV. He's been very instrumental in helping us get all of that going. So thank you to all of my team, and the nice thing about having a large team, because this is only a fraction, is when somebody can't make it, others step in, step up, and we all work together to help make an amazing program that I get a lot of great feedback on. So I hope you're enjoying it as well. And again, if somebody shared this program with you, make sure that you get back with them. And I mentioned something, and I don't want to forget it. So we've got a special going on with the Institute of Holistic Health. And with the Institute of Holistic Health, it has taken Dr. Wallach's message in looking at the 4 areas of health, how they are affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then using the longevity products as solutions, in addition to looking at the body as a whole. So it's not just what you put in your mouth, folks, but it's what you have in your mind, in your environment as well. And we actually have a special going on. How come I can't find share screen? Oh, there it is. So we have 50% off as we are putting together information meetings. Our next information meeting is this Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. If you go to iwhzoom.com, you will find more information about the Certified Holistic Health Coach course. This is a webinar that is put on by the founders of the Institute of Holistic Health, Cheryl Morley and Paul Croto. Dr. Wallach is also a co-founder of the Institute, and we just have a heart, and I say we because I'm the Director of Student Services. We have a heart to help others help others. And that's something that you can learn more about. And it's going to be 50% off for those of you who are in attendance of the webinar. They're going to be giving out a special code that'll allow you to be able to take the course 50% off. And there's even payment plans, 50% off the payment plans as well, so that you are armed with even more information to help you help yourself, help your families. Together, we help our communities and around the world. So folks, until next time, thank you for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Did I forget something, AJ?
Just please tell the folks what time the webinar is again, and the iwhzoom.com, because they are unable to see it on the platforms.
Oh, no. Well, that's a bummer. Sorry, guys. So iwhzoom.com takes you right to the Zoom meeting, which is being held at 2 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Mountain time, 4. Is that right? Or is it daylight savings time? So Pacific and Mountain, are they the same right now? So Mountain time, 3 o'clock. Thank you, Marilyn. 4 o'clock Central time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And if you are in down in South Africa, that is actually 9 p.m. in South Africa time. No, 11 p.m. Sorry, 11 p.m. Anyways, Google is fantastic, folks. Say, Google what time is 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific time in my time zone. And Google will give you an answer. Siri, Alexa, Bixby, yeah, they're all pretty smart. Anyways, until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Get back with the person that shared this program with you and let them know what you liked best about it. And again, if there's no one to thank, give our call team a call, 855-949-3377. Bye for now.